Welcome to the AI Show. I'm Scott Stevenson, co-founder of Deepgram. With me is Jeff Ward, a.k.a. Susan.
Well,
He's a Navy pilot, acclaimed dad joke writer, and AI scientist at Deepgram. On the AI Show, we talk about all things AI. What is it? What can you do with it? How does it affect you? Where is it going? We're live and ready to answer your questions. Comment on YouTube and Twitch or tweet at Deepgram AI to join in. Today we're asking the question, is AI creative? Is AI creative? Is it?
We now have said it 4 times. Is AI creative?
Is it?
Oh, man, that's a big
Are we
question.
creative?
Yeah. What is creativity?
Good question.
Scott, what is creativity? Tell
Would
me.
you like me to read a definition for
Tell
you,
me
Susan?
what creativity is, Scott.
Okay. So I have a few. Okay. A creative work is a novel work that is accepted as tenable or useful or satisfying by a group in some point in some time. By novel, I mean that the creative product did not exist previously in precisely the same form. The extent to which a work is novel depends on the extent to which it deviates from the traditional or the status quo.
So, in other words, different and useful.
Different and new and useful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess different and new are kind of the same thing, but
yeah,
new and useful.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty good because I've seen a lot of things that are different that are clearly not useful.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of things that are useful that are clearly not different.
Yeah.
And both of them I kind of think aren't creative. Although some of the ones that are different that those people think
I like
never
it.
mind.
Originality and effective at what it does.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, those
like
are cool
that.
things. And, you know, by that definition, I think maybe we've got some creativity in the AI front.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. Well, there's a lot of utility. Let's get this.
Definitely utility.
Let's get this half of the equation out on the table. AI is useful.
Yeah, it's useful.
I mean,
checks that box.
Yeah, bam.
Ba-doom.
But is it coming up with different things? And I think that even though it may be learning from large, vast resources, but there's quite a few instances where it surprises us with the answer it comes up with. Sometimes not in a good way, but sometimes you're like, wow, you know. I'll take the first shot across the bow here. We've talked about stuff like this in the past, but you know, using machine learning AI techniques to design things. Why? Because it comes up with answers that aren't necessarily biased by our preconceived notions, and suddenly you get efficiencies. Right?
Yeah, humans like symmetric things. You know, they've got to be just a certain way, otherwise it doesn't feel right. And there's some, you know, there's probably some reason to that. There's an economy to symmetry. You know, but if you have a fairly specific task that you're trying to accomplish, and you know it lives in the real world, you know, maybe symmetry isn't the best guiding principle there, or maybe you base like your base layer on symmetry, but then you add some little fancy stuff in there, and AI can go through all the different permutations and figure out, is this better? 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 Where a human will be like, dude, it's good enough. Like, look, it looks good. It does the thing it's supposed to be doing. You know, it's 20% better than the last thing. It's good. It's done. Yeah. But AI will be like, well, this one's 1% better than yours. Yeah. Looks a little weird. Yeah. But it serves a purpose, and it's new.
Who knew that the third arm in that location would make it better?
Exactly, just in that one location.
Whereas people would be like, third arm?
Was it back here?
Yeah, exactly. You're a little off center too.
Yeah.
So everybody's OCD in the human world is like, it's crooked.
Yeah.
It's crooked.
But it's the most useful.
Care that it's more efficient. It's crooked.
Yep, it's the most useful.
Right.
But when a lot of people think of creativity, they're thinking like music, art.
Music, you know, that's a really interesting area. And for quite a while now, there's been, you know, a lot of research on creating music in a programmatic way. But I think that it's reached a really new heights in the last several years with you know, machine learning techniques. We're seeing, you know,
what do you mean by programmatic?
Well, you know, hey, let's look at classical music, for instance, and you know, figure out like there are these structures that follow those structures that do this, that
it's
do
like there are
that.
scales, there are beats.
Yeah, there's all. You're kind of a music guy. I mean, you know quite a bit more about this than I do, but yeah, there's a lot of structure in music, right? And if you can rip that apart
Yep.
and maybe determine that, hey, in general, these things happen at these times and those things happen at that time, and maybe come up with some programmatic way of kicking out something that sounds good, you're on your way to writing your next song.
Yeah, and music accesses like emotions inside humans, right? You know, it can be exciting, it can be mellow, it can be depressing, it can be, you know, it can be many things, right? And so, is there a model, some AI that somebody's trained somewhere that you say like, give me some depressing slow music, it's like 2 minutes long, and it's a xylophone.
Xylophone, depressing xylophone music. I love it. They'll start up really high. Anyways.
Yeah. But I think the answer to that is like yes.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's actually some companies, their business models are based around this stuff. And, you know,
where would they sell it?
Well, see, this is the thing, and I like the angle that I've seen on this is taking the drudgery kind of out of it. Like you're stuck in a rut. Let this thing kind of give you some inspiration for where to go forward.
So like you're a musician, and you're like, play me something here. Give me a little
something like this.
Sweet something here.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Give me some.
And then you're like, that sucks. This is like the Cunningham principle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like if you want to figure out the answer to something, post a wrong answer on the internet.
Yeah.
And then somebody will correct it.
Someone will correct you.
Well, you know, corollary here is like, I want something that's like kind of emotional like this and kind of this long, and it uses these things.
You'll
and
correct
then yeah, exactly. AI says, what about this? And you're like, that sucks, but I kind of, okay, yeah. But all we have to do is change that around a little bit like that, and now we're going.
2 chords changed later.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant composition
exactly.
ensues.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, obviously there's a lot more to writing music than that.
Yeah.
But the idea that it can keep the thought going and allow you to get past that gap. And it's created enough that you're actually paying attention to it. It shows that there's real promise in this field. And there's real value to the type of creativity it brings, right? Whether or not it goes straight to mass media or if it's just there to spur another person's, if it's the muse, so to speak, the creativity built into that is a pretty useful and novel new thing.
I like the idea of being able to automatically generate music, you know, at fairly a low cost too. I'm sure, right?
Huge.
Like, costs a lot of money to have somebody sit down and, you know, compose a new piece and perform it and record it and like all this stuff, right? Well, you say AI, go make some stuff. Will it be as good as a human, or will it like capture just the right thing for that $200 million Hollywood
tears?
Yeah, for that Hollywood movie? Maybe not, you know. But is it good background music for a YouTube video? Probably good enough, right?
Yeah.
And you can pick and select, or maybe as time goes on, you don't have to pick which background music anymore. You go do your thing. You go do your piece. You talk your stuff. It gets automatically filled in later. You say, give me something. Give me a composition. You know, do this. Nah, I don't like it. Give me another one.
Yeah,
give me another one. I like that one.
Twist a few knobs, the happy knob, the ambiance
Edit this
knob.
video.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? Maybe that's what's happening to this video.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm really just waiting for, you know, my smartwatch to monitor my heart rate, my, you know, temperature and all these different things, and truly give me the soundtrack to my life.
Yeah.
All day long.
You're riding home on the bike,
Yeah.
you know, and Rocky's playing. Dun, dun, dun.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, only it won't be Rocky. It'll be the AI version.
Oh,
of Rocky. It'll be
of
a
course.
brand new original score.
Exactly.
Based
totally
off of
creative.
of this exact moment.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's just exactly what you needed, and it can tell you don't like it so much. So what about this? And they're like, oh yeah, no, that's the groove right there.
Yeah,
that's what we need.
Exactly. A little reinforcement learning.
Yeah,
gets
exactly.
into play there.
Yeah.
Before you know it, like you know, you're like, why isn't this on the radio? I heard this great song. You're humming it to a friend.
It's only for you. You're the only person that likes this song.
The U station, and it's just like if someone else listens to it, it's like are two cats fighting somewhere? What's going on here?
This just hits all those spots for you, and everybody else is like, no, thank you. It's like sharing your own mixtape.
Yeah.
But like the next level of that, and everybody's like, I don't want. No, thank you.
No, please.
Yeah.
Please
Please
get
no.
it away.
Thank you, but no.
Oh, Oh yeah, so there's just amazing possibilities.
What about art?
Oh, art. I don't know what I like.
Put a paintbrush in a robot's hand.
Wait, how's it go? I don't know what I like, but I know when it's art. Oh wait, maybe not that.
Are we gonna put a beret on a computer and give it a paintbrush?
Oh yeah, well there's been lots of stuff about that lately, and even on the basic stuff, we have talked about this before. NVIDIA filling in pieces of a 3D scene.
Absolutely.
That's a microcosm of the larger stuff that's going on in the AI image processing world. That's recreating entire scenes from just a few parameters that you're setting. You know,
draw a stick figure. Now all of a sudden it looks amazing.
Yeah, or take some sort of inspiration, and someone drawing a rough scene, like I said, some stick figure, and it fills in trees and sun and all sorts of stuff. It creates a scene around that. Colorizing, or not colorizing, but changing the feel of
changing the
video. I've seen some amazing stuff that turns like street X into city scene X. Yeah. Right? Like, real transformations there. And when you think about it, this is a lot of what artists do. Again, I don't want to speak for every artist out there, but you get inspiration from one scene over here. Yeah, and
you're in the world,
and then you get inspiration from some sort of other thing, and you merge and you compose. And you
create a new reality,
new scene, new reality that blends pieces of these things. And all of those elements are being worked on, in single pieces and in conglomerates and amazing toolkits that are out there.
There was some painting that sold for like over $400,000 or something, made by a machine.
Yeah, I mean, geez, who gets the money for that?
I don't know.
It's
Silicon Valley types.
Later on, where the robot overlords come back and say, "And I want interest."
Yeah. Royalties.
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 No, I mean, is it art on all levels too? Sculpture, obviously, the visual mediums.
That's a good point.
We've talked
hammer
about.
And chisel.
Yeah.
Marble sculptures. Hey,
why not? Hey, we're getting the 3D, maker world, right?
Yeah.
Soon you'll ask for your house to be auto designed based off of the natural curvature of everything around there. Yeah. And as part of that, it'll sculpt something for you in your brand new front yard.
I love this.
And then it takes it.
It's a present for you.
Yeah, there you go.
Present for you.
It takes a day and a half to build. You've got a lot.
Yeah.
You tell the construction robots to be inspired and build you a home.
Yeah.
You live in it for 3 weeks. And you say bulldoze it and give me the new one.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't like it.
There you go.
It's played out now.
Only takes a day or two to build.
It's like made from mud.
Yeah, concrete that's specially shaped, and I can see it. A new house every 3 weeks. Why not? You encourage the kids to get out the crayons on the walls.
We didn't talk about pop music when we were talking about music.
We did not. So the other end of this is, are we finding that machines are creative? Machine learning is creative. Or are we maybe seeing that some of the things we think are creative are less creative than
Are you saying pop music isn't that creative?
I am not saying pop music is not creative.
But you're not saying
that. But I'm not saying
yeah.
that you can see videos online that create pop songs in the course of 2 minutes using standard sets of rules that are pretty funny to watch, and I encourage everybody to see those.
Yes.
No, I mean, there's clearly creativity in that field, but there's a lot of formulaic stuff
components, to get the whole symphony going, you have to have some creativity there, but components, obviously.
Yeah. So, there's, you may want to see if that new pop song was really written by, algorithm 48762. That'd be a great algorithm 48762. That is a band name right there.
Yes. It's our AI band name.
Yeah. Well, that's the first job of machine learning is to predict good band names.
Are we going to sell has there been an album sold by, completely computer generated? Oh, man. And I'm not talking in the 80s. Come on.
Yeah, come on. I don't know. Has there? I don't. Do you have?
I don't know. I don't know.
This is a research project.
Yeah, we could use Google for that, I suppose. As I've heard that's what it's for. But we could just ask it. Why isn't it responding? It should just know, right?
It should know.
Should just know.
This should be like this.
And it should be serving us ads now for to buy the album.
And well, it'll keep you in suspense. I have the answer to that. The answer is just a second while I talk to you about car insurance.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. So, I mean, we're talking like music, art, things like that. There's obviously other areas of creativity here: architecture, engineering, etc. You know?
Engineering. There's some pretty amazing stuff. We talked about kind of particle physics stuff.
Yeah,
Remember
we haven't
that?
gone down the particle physics route before, or like fusion reactor designing. Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Those are. I mean, we're seeing real promise because of those designs.
Yeah, these are new designs.
Yeah.
Nobody ever thought of them.
How about aviation? Have you seen anything in the aviation world? There's,
Making better stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
you could say like AI pilots or something, but like even just building the plane, I'm sure there has to be something.
yeah. Well, and same kind of technology of designing like the fusion reactors that say, hey, humans would have built in this perfect little donut, but if I make it twist and contort, you get all these efficiencies you hadn't thought about. That same kind of thing is starting to enter things like aviation design. And, hey, this wing, if you program some limitations into it and let it start, trying, new designs, evolving new designs, suddenly out pops a pretty darn efficient wing that looks different than what a human would have designed.
Yep.
It'd be fun to fly on a plane like that. You get on there and there's like, something that looks like a bat wing or something that looks like, something out of a sci-fi movie. And you're like, I don't know if I like this or not, but it looks cool.
As a Navy pilot, Susan.
Yeah. By the way, I'm a Navy pilot.
Yeah.
How do you know someone's a pilot, Scott?
Well, they tell you.
They'll tell you.
Yeah. As a Navy pilot, would you trust an AI designed wing?
Sure. Well, as a Navy pilot, no. As a machine learning engineer, totally.
Yeah.
Hey, come on.
Yeah.
Pilots notoriously don't really trust new things.
Okay.
But machine learning engineers are like,
So that's
let's
probably
do it.
for
It's
good reason,
just on it.
right? If you just tried every new thing that came along on an airplane,
We would have gone, leaps and bounds beyond where we're at, and we wouldn't be thinking about any problems. Wait.
Well, I'm not talking about global optimization. I'm talking about local optimization.
Yeah, see,
right?
that's the thing.
Yeah.
When you only look at your own little experience.
Yeah, exactly.
You especially in the aviation world, you're trying to mitigate any kind of risk.
Yep.
And so this flight has to be exactly
Crash planes
like,
make headlines.
Yeah. You don't want headlines.
Yep.
Right. You want a few stories, so afterwards you can go to the bar and tell that story about how an owl gets sucked down an engine or something like that.
Yep.
But you don't want those stories to make the news, especially since you can no longer comment on them.
Yes. Yeah.
But in general, long-term performance requires radical change. Short-term performance requires like an iterative. I'm going to break out the gradient descent kind of approach.
Iterate.
Small change to refine the thing. And that's the dichotomy of a lot of these things, especially aviation. We've been in iteration mode and we need some radical change to get really far. But that's another podcast. But machine learning is one of those things that could be that radical change, You look at brand new designs of aircraft and what could possibly happen with new material science once you break out of the old mentality, of how to design a plane.
Yeah.
Maybe we can go twice as far, twice as fast, carry twice as many people.
Yep.
Make a smaller aircraft so you can take off from a lot more places. That'd be pretty
Short takeoff and
cool.
landing.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
I still want a gyrocopter personally.
Oh,
Those things are really
I
cool.
agree.
They just look cool.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah. Well, and you can land in like 30 feet.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
unpowered helicopter, roughly. I mean, it doesn't have a powered rotor, but still flies kind of like a helicopter.
Yeah. And some weird tendencies to flip over if you treat it wrong.
Oh yeah. You're talking like a bicycle frame, basically, right? With all this machinery attached to it. Yeah. Are there really big gyrocopters?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm sure you could build. I think it's
Yeah.
a technology that that definitely could be explored some more.
Yeah, with
Maybe
AI.
that's where machine learning will come in.
Exactly.
It'll say, you know what? It really turns out that a gyrocopter is your optimum here.
That's the one you want.
Right? You know, that is the perfect intercity vehicle, despite maybe being a little dangerous with all those blades everywhere. It comes in and says, you know, but you get the idea. It'll come up with, you know, solutions maybe we've overlooked. And that's the creativity side that we're talking about. It's really the things we overlook because we have a blind spot.
Yeah.
The machines are thinking.
Sort of too familiar.
Thinking or exploring.
I don't hate to use the word thinking.
I like the term exploration over thinking.
Oh, okay.
Because what we're really talking
There's
about here,
cognition there, man.
Yeah. What we're really talking about is exploring a space. Right. Yeah. You know, when we think about a problem, we're trying to explore a possible solution space to that problem. And the mechanism by which we explore it matters, right? Because the solution space is so huge as to be impossible to compute every single possible outcome. Yeah. So, you know, human mind thinking in this way, you know, machine algorithms thinking in this way, they're not going to take the same paths. And so therefore they're not going to come with the same options. And by the way, they'll more completely explore the space because they're not thinking the same thing. Yeah. So this is a
take both opinions.
Idea. Yeah. Doesn't mean they're going to be better. Doesn't mean they're going to be worse, but they will be different, and that's going to be good.
Well, and they don't get tired. You just keep pumping electricity in. They're hungry.
They never get tired. They
never sleep.
They never sleep.
They don't care, man. No. They just keep going.
Yeah.
You know, it's been now shown over a long enough period of time that, well, I think humans get excited about things that are maybe not at the fringes, but it's just that hit extremes, you know? Like something that makes you super happy, you could talk about a lot. Something that scares you a lot, it's interesting, right? Something that's very exciting, you know, you're drawn to it, right? AI is getting good at picking out when these things happen and then like optimizing them, you know? So this is kind of how feeds work in like Instagram or Facebook or, you know,
that's cool.
Any of those where they want to show you the most interesting thing that's at the top. How do they figure that out? Well, how many people have clicked on like? And it's not just that. How many people like you have clicked on like and you're in your feed? And so I'm going to start showing you that stuff. I know it's exciting to you. I know it's interesting to you, right? But that's just like a recommendation, right? I'm recommending these things. Well, it's starting to be able to create things like create images or create videos or create music, right? But have you seen this video? This is awesome video. If you haven't seen it, I'll have to show it to you. But it's people that just horribly suck at dancing, just really bad, you know, just really bad. And then they train a model on a really good dancer. Okay.
Yes.
Real tight and perfect, you know.
I have seen this.
And then they take the person that's not very good, and then now they look awesome.
Yes.
You know, everything is perfect exactly the way it should, right?
I have seen this. I need this.
Yeah, it's like auto-tune for dancing.
Auto body.
Auto body. Yeah.
Auto dance. I like it. You know, that's amazing stuff right there. But back to the feed thing, I thought I heard something about auto-generating. You know, have you seen those?
Yeah.
You know?
Auto-generated feeds, so it's like telling you, or like summarizing the article, basically.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was summarizing articles. Isn't like, aren't Google and Facebook doing stuff along those lines?
I think both now. Yeah, like Google's 100%. Your snippet is an AI written snippet.
Is crazy, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing. I think people maybe have this impression that because we can take pictures, you can just go out there with a little digital world and go click. It's not a big deal that something paints a picture.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. We've been desensitized to the idea of reproducing an image.
Yeah.
Despite how hard it is, I challenge.
Yeah. I guess it doesn't represent much of a thought so much.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, it's just a perception.
Exactly.
Right? I'm just perceiving.
But when it comes to text, I think you see a different thing. Like it's this sequence of stuff that if this one piece wasn't right, it destroys everything after it. Right? It takes one word back here, and then the rest of the sentence.
They all link together.
It's so interconnected. Yeah. And people get that, and
there's a perceived logic there.
And there's no one view of this. It's like, you know, everybody goes up and takes the same picture of the Taj Mahal, right? Your picture is not very different than someone else's, but someone would write a very different description from the same point of view.
Very true. Very true.
So the act of actually doing a text snippet is pretty amazing. You know, especially, you know, we deal with with text all the time.
Yeah.
And
Well,
seeing
there's
that
there's kind of
there.
3 areas here: text, images, and audio.
Yeah, and it's that is staggering. We've gotten to that point.
Yep.
I have seen some other generation ones. One of my favorite, and I believe actually Facebook was using something along this line too, was auto code generation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Literally taking the source code of Linux.
Yeah.
And the kernel and then taking that as input set and then asking it to generate a new class for you. And you look at it and it's like, it kind of looks right, but what does it do? Well, the answer is nothing.
Yeah. I think it's Andrei Karpathy when he was a Stanford graduate student did that.
Yeah.
Now he's at Tesla.
There you go.
Yep.
I mean, cool stuff with,
But it looks right. And it's like, well, can you get it to compile? It compiles. What does it do? Not much. It doesn't really do anything. But it looks like it's supposed to look, which is probably similar to how like a long form book or something written by AI would look. It will have chapters. It'll be formatted. Everything will look good or whatever. It actually isn't that good.
Yeah,
right.
to look at.
Yeah, well, that's a rabbit hole.
Over.
Yeah, there's a good one like Halloween masks.
Oh, that's
right.
scary
Show a whole bunch of Halloween masks, and then say generate some Halloween masks, and then they're just like they are actually scary. Yeah.
Well, it's like the facial generation. Like it's gotten to the point now where it's
there's
like,
one that kind of looked like Trump too. So
that's an instant win. But but now the facial generation has gotten so amazing. But even as of a year and a half ago, it was really good, but there was always the cherry picked examples that they showed you.
Yeah, of course.
And the non-cherry picked examples, you're like Nightmareville.
The grotesque,
right? Like Nightmareville, because it's so close to being real.
But it's disfigured.
But it's not off, right. And you're like, this person had a horrible,
uncanny valley, man.
Horrible accident.
Yeah, it's like generating faces or bodies or something. But it's just like, what is that lump?
And it's like, you should really get that checked out by a doctor.
Yeah.
But I mean, now it's a lot of that is weeded out. And
I've heard
the local whatever channel, and so combine those two. Like I want heavy metal and polka. If they came together and had a musical child, what would it be? And that's my new elevator music.
Chardon Polka Band?
Oh,
maybe not. I don't know. It's a quick Google there. But yeah. So it's getting really good at writing headlines. Clickbait.
Oh,
clickbait is probably like almost all written by AI now.
I mean,
if you don't know that,
it's so. Well,
it's like so whatever gets you to click, it's just moving words around and
these 15 words.
Yep.
With this, those 15 words are good, but with this one new word, just click here.
Click to find out. Yeah. Yep.
Clickbait had, I mean, well, that's a refinement problem. I can easily see machine learning really working on that.
Yeah.
Tries a couple weird words and those get clicks, but
it's been going for a while. It's good.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, with millions and millions of impressions, probably a minute, it's going to learn quick.
Long form, just recently, maybe yesterday, there's something like that. OpenAI published a new text generation model. A language model that's trained on basically 10 billion words with a really large model, and which is a lot of words, 10 billion. And I don't know if you read the unicorn story, but it's pretty good. They prompt the unicorn story with something like a new band of unicorns, a new herd of unicorns was found in South America. Go, right?
That is awesome.
And so it's like breaking new unicorn herd found in South America, and then write the story. Go, and then it writes it. It's like, this is actually pretty good. Of course, it was cherry picked, but only at the 1 in 10 level. Yeah. So it generated 10. They picked the best one out of the 10, and then said like, here's the article. But it's like pretty good read.
This is just like the face thing.
Yeah.
A year or two ago, you're cherry picking a couple faces.
Yep.
A year or two from now, you're not going to know what was actually written, by machine learning or not. And I will guarantee you that if you read page 3 or 4 of a lot of modern articles on the web, you will want them to have been generated by a machine.
That might be better.
man, you go past the first page nowadays, and editing goes out the window.
That could be good. So you're a reporter. You have a conversation. You question somebody. You know, you go down that path. You talk to them for 20 minutes or an hour or something like that, and then an article is written.
Exactly. As you're going.
Yeah.
It's an article going.
Yeah.
It's not a transcript.
Yeah. No, not a transcript.
It's a true article.
It's picking out all the key important parts and writing about it.
Yeah. But no, so getting back to creativity, all this stuff, clearly useful.
Yeah.
And also novel. I mean, just think about the polka metal band thing. The fact that it's there is spurring brand new ideas, right? Like crazy polka metal bands, right?
Yep.
And it's enabling these brand new ideas to happen. I'm laying my money down. It is creative, and it's not that these things are actually easy. It's that we are coming up with technologies that are helping spur more creativity, and ingrained in them have a creativity that's a bit different than human.
Yeah. So I think without a question, AI is creative, like it or not. If you want to do some ranking, are humans more creative or better or something like that? There's probably a lot of areas where humans can do a better job, but certainly with a low amount of effort, pump in a little bit of electricity, throw some coins its way, and then something that's pretty good comes out from AI. They've got that one. There's
There's
nailed.
no substitute for volume
Yeah.
when it comes to creativity.
That's true.
When it really comes down to it, I've seen this in my own life. Like if you create 10,000 things and only select 5 of them and only show those 5, people think you're a genius.
Yes, absolutely. Just create a lot and cherry pick.
Create a lot and cherry pick. And now we've got machines that are helping us create large volumes.
They could probably help us cherry pick too.
There you go. Cherry picking,
All right. Thanks for joining us on the AI show. What questions do you have about AI? Comment on YouTube or Twitch or tweet us at Deepgram AI. We are Scott and Susan from Deepgram.
Definitely not robots.
We're not. We come in peace. See you next time.
Ciao all. Man, I really want to hear some metal polka.